And welcome back to another daily cribbage. We're against Zambam1. Gonna hit him with the good game, the good luck. And what do we start off with? Looks like a nice flush actually. 6 points there. Probably slightly better than throwing away 2-9. Of course, 9-10 is connected, but we do have improvements. We improve to the straight, which is good, and we get a 15. So nice stuff. Our opponent probably has some 2s here as well, because 9-4-2 combos, but instead they just have the 9-6, so for 6 points there. Okay, we come out a little bit ahead of the first round, which is very nice. And what do we have next? A nice easy double run, and 2-3 is lovely to throw into the crib. So let's do that. 6 and an 8. Interesting. 6 and an ace, sorry. That's quite interesting. 6 ace 3. Will they have a 2? No. Another 6. Okay. Opponent says we're welcome. Not sure what's going on there. Alright. 3 card run, 8, 9, 10. So let's keep that. We'll keep the ace as well. Nice low card. We'll start off with an 8. And we'll get rid of our 9. Opponent might have some 4s, but it's alright. Jack. They got the double 5, so nice 10 points from our opponent there. We don't quite get to the 44, but the opponent's crib's not too big. How are we feeling about this situation overall? I think we're doing quite well. We're going to throw away 6-8. We don't have a flush, and we do get a very nice 3 on top. If our opponent has thrown away some 7s, then it can really complete our crib as well. But 3, 6, 8, it improves on some cards. Well, we go a 9 and an ace, so pretty good. 2-2, 10-10, king. Not really a fan of giving too much away, or am I? No. Let's just slow play. We'll just go to king 10. I'm gonna come back to this. I think I didn't really internalize what the score means for how we should be discarding here. 58-47. Opponent really likes those special symbols. Okay. Ace 3. Keep 9 points. We can fake a lot of flushes here. Just generally quite scary. Alright. Double queen for ace. Does allow us to have the jack, queen, king. Maybe we'll see some more special symbols from our opponent. Alright, and a very juicy crib. Here come the special symbols. Oh dear. Opponent's not having a good time apparently. Oh, and this is one of my favorite hands. Double 3, 4, 8. Unfortunately, I like it more as the dealer. We hit a 5, inducing some more special symbols. That is what we want to... That's, I guess, our goal for this game. See, 8-4. Here come the more special symbols. The triple. Okay, well, this is just getting a bit tiresome, so we'll put them on mute for now. And we get the early resignation. This does mean, so just for your information, If you get this happening in your own games and your opponent quits early, then you should see what scores you end on. So in this case, our opponent quit before they reached 91, which means that technically in your statistics, this game will count as a skunk. Let's have a look. How did everything go? We managed to get a few points on the play. In general, our hands were pretty good. We did high roll a lot of those. The cribs were also pretty much the same. Let's roll back to that moment where the scores were playing a role and we had the double 2, double 10, double king. This is the position. We're at 58 and our opponent is at 45. On face value, we are 13 points ahead, so it might seem like we're doing okay, but a slightly closer inspection shows a slightly different story, slightly more nuanced story. Our opponent has just made it past their 44 milestone, so they are getting ready for the journey up to 70 points, and they're hoping to do that in the next two hands if they score their averages. If they don't score their averages, which might mean that they only score their medians, then they're going to fall short of 70, which is actually quite detrimental. On the other hand, we are in a slight no man's land. We're pwn, and we are about 12 points away from our next milestone, so we're unlikely to get that, especially when we look at our cards. But the one thing we do have for us is that we can throw away something very safe into our opponent's crib, hoping to pounce on the idea that our opponent's going to fall short of the next milestone. And that's going to put us in a great position, because when a player falls short of their milestone, they fall very far behind. It's very good to have a lot of safety net by going above your milestone, and it's very detrimental to be just slightly below your milestone. In this case, our opponent's at their milestone, and the tendency is for them to sort of slowly fall behind it. But of course, there are still many rounds left. Our opponent wants to go out after 6 rounds, or after another 6 rounds, so anything could happen over those 6 rounds. They just have to high roll at least once somewhere. So I think the 10 king discard does make sense here. And it's worth noting, what are the possible discards here? There's only really 2 discards that are really feasible from such a position. And those would be either 10 king. In particular, we can keep the 10 of diamonds, king of diamonds to fake more flushes. It's also possible to keep the king of clubs if we want to often play king of clubs, 2 of clubs, which actually might be the case. So perhaps the better discard might be king of diamonds, 10 of hearts. And the other discard in terms of which cards would be the discarding the pair of kings. And why would you discard the pair of kings over, say, the other pairs? It's because the pair of kings makes fewer double runs, essentially, than the other cards. So, and also the pair of 2s can make more 15 combos than the pair of kings as well. So the pair of kings are going to be the best discard in terms of number of points in hand and fewest number of points in crib. I suspect that in a moment, when we look at what the discard average solver is going to tell us, it's going to say discard the pair of kings, but I think 10 king is extremely reasonable here. And in our case, we got very lucky. We hit the 3, which I wasn't really thinking about when I kept the 2-2 10 king. When I kept 2-2 10 king, I'm mostly thinking we're going to hit something on the top that's fairly neutral, like any card from 6 to 9, or maybe an ace is actually okay for us, but also a 4 is pretty bad for us, and any other 10 is also pretty bad, like jacks and queens. So most of the time our hand doesn't improve in any way, and we're just getting 2 points here, taking us up to 60, but it does mean that we are in a nice position if our opponent can fall short of their next milestone. We're sort of in a position where we're going out after a... we're going to be going out after another 5 rounds, I guess. So let's have a look. What's the difference between throwing away 10 king and king king? And here we have it. The differences are quite small. So if we discard the king king, then our hand is worth, on average, 2 points more than if we throw away 10 king, which makes sense. All of the cards that could come up on top affect our hand in really the same way. No differences. And if we look in the crib, king king is worth slightly less than 2 points more than 10 king. And this is something that we would expect because king king is going to make fewer combos than 10 king. 10 king is going to make more combos. It's going to make combos more of the time than king king. But of course, when 10 king makes those combos, I'm thinking like a pair of 10s, then it makes those more often than king king does when you account for how many extra points those combos are going to be worth for king king. So there you go. That means that this solver is going to like king king, but of course the main difference is that we're just giving our opponent 2 points for free and giving ourselves 2 points as well. So the question is, do we like that change? And in our case, I think the answer is very clearly no. We don't want to help our opponent get to the next milestone and potentially us fall behind and get into a terrible position. But that's not what happened in the game. In the end, our opponent had a lot of bad luck, and we had a lot of great luck. So it turned out good for us, and it also caused our opponent to run a lot of those special symbols. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you had fun, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.